On sexual harassment, we men need to be clear. The problem is not women, it's us. And this is an article penned by Jonathan Friedland for The Guardian online. So I'm just going to repeat this headline. On sexual harassment, we men, does that mean I can assume he's referring to himself? He's including himself? Need to be clear. The problem is not women, it's us. He seems to be implicating himself again. I've never sexually harassed a woman, and I don't know a man who has. But Jonathan here seems to be implicating himself. Now, I think he should be quite more reticent with his words, because implying that that he's done this, surely he should be fired. But the odds are that he hasn't, and that he may be a typical leftist, and he just wants to make accusations against men and just wants to drag everyone in by including himself. That's just me. That's just guesswork. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way he writes. It's not good enough for men to complain that it's all too complicated. In fact, it's very simple. Yeah, rather like your fucking headline, Mr. Friedland. And I would say this to you if you ever listen to this. If you want to implicate yourself in sexually harassing women, by all means do if you're guilty, and only if you're guilty. But don't try and drag me into it, and don't accuse me of it, and don't blame me, and don't blame my fellow men, you fucking wimp. So he continues. So much rubbish has been spoken by so many men about sexual harassment, yet you know I'm reading your fucking rubbish right now, boy, Friedland, that it's hard to nominate a winner. No, you get the Oscar, in my opinion. But a strong contender in a crowded field is surely Rick Perry, the US Energy Secretary, who, when running for president, famously forgot which government department he wanted to close. All right, I have no idea what that means to do with sexual harassment. This is quite a long article, so I'm going to skip down a good number of paragraphs. Thank you so much. Okay, so part of the premise of his article is why are women being asked questions and not men? Well, I think it's fair enough. If you're an accuser, I think that it's fair enough to ask questions of you. Anyway, he carries on a few paragraphs down. I'll put this thing in the comments section so that you can read it in full if you wish, and I'll pin it to the top. With Weinstein, it was, why didn't these women speak out earlier? Well, I don't know. I can only speculate. Maybe they wanted jobs in films and they were willing to do things for him. I don't know. Why did Hillary Clinton accept donations from this monster? Because she's a crook? I don't know. What were these women doing in a man's hotel room anyway? Pushing for a job? Who knows? In Britain, the Westminster, now named Pestminster, accusations have prompted... See, I'm going to go on a slight tangent here. You see how the males of the media and the males in politics, they have now hoisted themselves by their own petard. They are fucked. They've promoted this shit and these false accusations for decades. They've promoted bullshit and lies and allowed women around them to lie daily in Parliament and parliaments all over the Western world about domestic violence, the equal pay gap, and they've posed as friends of women in order that they can grovel to the mainstream man-hating media, which is crawling with man-hating women who aid and abet the bitches in Parliament, and they do all this, and they had no sense that it was ever going to catch up on them, and that instead of the man in the street, the average Joe, being the guy who was on the end of the false accusations, that it wouldn't end up with them. When women in the media now are doing this, there's hardly a woman left within the media who doesn't have a false accusation to make. They're false as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe a word they say. Same in politics. They know now how to oust the males around them, how to shut them up, and how to get their own fucking way. And these men, I always said it right back from the early 90s, they're bringing other men down, men like me down, just an average guy. And in the end, they'll bring themselves down. And then when they do that, where are they going to crawl and fucking hide? And the answer is nowhere. They're fucked. And even though I know that most of these men who are being accused in the media and politics, they're innocent on in that the odds are overwhelming that they haven't done a damn thing untoward. They have supported women within the media and within politics lying about men, and so as far as I'm concerned, these particular males deserve every false accusation that comes their fucking way. And I know that there are loads of men who disagree with me on that. I may even lose subscribers, but that's what I believe on this. Anyway, in Britain, the Westminster accusations have prompted a set of questions that have also been put to women rather than men. Why didn't you stand up for yourself? If you were so offended, why did you stay in contact with the guilty man? How many times have I read that in reports on supposed rape, where the woman claims that she was raped, and then she carried on with a sexual relationship with a man she claimed raped her? That's after the relationship has ended. This is just her hating on a guy because he dumped her or she regretted the relationship. Kind of fucking lunatic carries on in a relationship with someone who raped her. Jesus. Are you really such a delicate soul that a fleeting hand on the knee can hurt you so badly? I'll presume that was that this is a reference to a female journalist here in the UK who claims that a male member of Parliament put his hand on her knee 15 years ago. Okay, I've had enough of this article. There's more of it. And like I say, I'll stick it in the comment section, pin it to the top. But now, these men at the top, these men who've been dumping all over the average man in the street for so many decades, and they're in politics, they're in the media, they are now being accused left, right and centre by opportunistic, evil, sick, twisted fucking bitches. And even though they're as innocent as fuck in the sense that the accusations, the vast majority, will be absolutely false, they are the ones who've awarded, they've given women, I'm finding it difficult to express myself here, they gave women the ability to make these false accusations in courts, whether criminal courts or domestic, beg your pardon, divorce courts. They gave them that wherewithal, and now they're having to stand up to scrutiny themselves, and regardless of whether there are any facts against them, they are now in the same position as all the other men that they have so forsaken over the decades and left by the wayside, where you're accused, you can't prove that you're innocent, you are guilty regardless. And you can see it with Brett Kavanaugh. He's a perfect example. Thank you very much.